The battlefield was silent, but the silence was not peaceful. It was the silence that comes after fire and thunder, when everything is already broken. Ships floated in pieces, metal burning, smoke rising into the dark sky. The ground was full of scars, black from fire, red from blood. No one wanted to stay here because death had already passed through. In the middle of the broken land, something huge was lying on the ground. It was the alien beast, the creature that everyone feared. Its body was covered with wounds, deep cuts from blades, burns from plasma fire. One of its massive arms was broken, its chest moving up and down slowly. Its glowing eyes were dull now, like a flame about to die. Soldiers from many alien races walked past. They saw the beast but turned their faces away. Some looked at it with hate, some with fear. Most simply ignored it. They all believed the same thing. The beast was dangerous, the beast was a killer. It was better to let it die here. No one wanted to carry such a burden. The beast gave a low growl, but it was not a roar of power. It was weak, a sound full of pain and loneliness. For a moment, it tried to raise its head, as if asking for help, but the soldiers only laughed or hurried away. Its own kind had already abandoned it. They had escaped the battlefield, leaving it behind like trash. The creature that once fought for them was now worthless in their eyes. The wind carried the smell of smoke and burnt metal. The sky had no stars because it was filled with black clouds. The land felt empty, but in that emptiness, footsteps were heard. A group of humans walked slowly through the ruins. They were not many, only a small squad. Their armor was scratched, their faces tired, but their eyes still alive. Humans were not the strongest, not the biggest, not the fastest race in the galaxy. But they carried something different inside them. Something the galaxy did not fully understand. When the humans saw the beast, they stopped. The leader of the squad raised his hand and everyone went still. They looked at the giant body lying on the ground, weapons ready, hearts beating fast. They knew the stories. They knew what this monster had done in battles. The safe choice was to keep walking, to pretend they had seen nothing, but none of them moved. The leader stepped closer, his boots pressed on ash and broken stone. He studied the beast's wounds. He saw its heavy breath, he saw its eyes. Still, glowing but weak. For a long moment, human eyes met alien eyes, one full of confusion and pain, the other full of thought and decision. The soldiers behind the leader whispered, "It's dying, leave it, we don't have the supplies, we don't have the time, it's not our problem." Another said, "If it lives, it could kill us all." Fear was in their voices. The beast was big enough to crush them even half dead. One wrong move, and the humans could all be gone in seconds. But the leader did not turn away. Something inside him refused. He looked at the beast again, and what he saw was not only a monster. He saw a living being. Broken. Abandoned. Left to die alone. The beast let out another weak growl. Its claws dug into the ground as if it still wanted to fight. But there was no fight left, only pain. The humans could feel it. The sound touched them, not like a weapon but like a cry. One of the soldiers lowered his weapon slowly. His voice shook. "Commander, if we help it, what will happen? What if it doesn't understand?" The leader answered quietly, "Maybe it will understand, maybe not. But if we leave it here, then we are no better than the ones who abandoned it." The air grew heavy. The squad stood in silence, their hearts divided. They knew saving the beast could be a mistake, but leaving it felt even more wrong. The beast blinked slowly, its vision blurry. In its fading mind, it expected the humans to pass, just like all the others had, but they didn't move away. They stood there, still watching, still deciding. It could not understand why. It could not believe that anyone, especially small, fragile humans, would waste time on it. The leader finally took a step forward, closer than any other alien had dared. The beast's eyes followed him, its claws twitching. Every soldier held their breath. One wrong motion and it could be their last moment alive. But the leader bent down, carefully placing his hand on the ground. He did not raise his weapon. He did not shout. His voice was calm, but strong. "You are not alone," he said softly. The words were simple, but they carried weight. They carried a meaning no alien had ever given this creature. The beast's eyes widened slightly. The glow in them flickered, not from power, but from something strange, something it had forgotten, hope. The squad was still afraid, but something about their leader's calmness kept them standing, kept them from running. The choice had not yet been made, but the moment was alive with suspense. The battlefield was silent again, but it was a different silence. Not the silence of death, but the silence before a decision that could change everything. And so, in that broken land filled with smoke and ash, one truth began to form. Everyone else had left the alien beast to die, but the humans, against fear, against logic, against survival, did not walk away. The beast was still lying on the ground, its giant body shaking with every weak breath. The humans stood around it, weapons half raised, fear in their eyes. No one spoke for a moment, only the sound of fire burning in the distance filled the air. The decision was heavy and everyone could feel it. The commander looked at his squad. His face was calm, but his eyes were sharp. He knew his soldiers were scared, and he also knew they were right to be scared. The beast was dangerous, even wounded, even broken. One swipe of its claw could crush them, but the commander's heart refused to let him walk away. One soldier whispered, "Sir, we cannot do this. It is not our duty, it is not our problem. If we take it with us, we will all die." Another soldier added, "The creature is a killer. If it gets strong again, it will turn on us. We should leave it here. It deserves this." Their voices were full of fear, but also a strange anger. They wanted to protect themselves. The commander listened, but did not answer at first. He walked closer to the beast. His boots crunched against broken metal and stone. The beast turned its glowing eyes toward him, confused and weak. It let out a low growl, a warning, a reminder that it was still alive. The humans raised their rifles quickly, ready to fire, but the commander raised his hand, stopping them. He looked at the beast carefully. Its chest was rising and falling with difficulty. Its wounds were deep, blood shining dark under the smoke-filled light. The commander did not see a monster. He saw suffering. He saw something that had been abandoned, left alone to die. And in his heart he felt that walking away would be the same as becoming like those who left it. Finally, the commander spoke. His voice was firm. "If we leave it, we are no better than the ones who abandoned it. We fight for life, not only for ourselves, but for something greater. This creature is alive, and that means it has a right to live." The soldiers looked at one another. Some shook their heads, some lowered their eyes. One of them muttered, "Compassion will kill us, sir." Another said, "We don't even have enough food for ourselves. How can we feed this thing?" A younger soldier, his hands trembling, whispered, "Sir, maybe it is better if we just end its pain now." His weapon shook as he aimed, but he could not pull the trigger. The commander stepped in front of him, his voice sharp. "No, we are not executioners, we are soldiers, and soldiers do not kill the helpless." His words cut through the fear, strong and heavy. The squad grew silent. The beast blinked slowly. Its vision was cloudy, but it saw something different in the humans. Unlike the others who walked past it, these small creatures argued, hesitated, cared. It could not understand their language fully, but their tone, their movements, their eyes carried something strange, something it had never seen before. The commander turned back to his squad, his voice softer now. "Yes, this beast may be dangerous. Yes, it may turn against us. But what if it doesn't? What if it remembers who saved it? What if this moment defines what kind of people we are? Do we want to be known as those who walked away or as those who gave a chance even when the galaxy thought it was madness?" The soldiers were restless. Some shuffled their feet. Some stared at the ground. One finally sighed. "Commander, even if we help it, how do we move it? It is too big, too heavy. We do not have the tools." Another added, "And if the enemy finds us helping it, they will think we are traitors." The commander nodded. He knew the risks. He knew they were great, but his heart was clear. He said quietly, "If we are remembered as traitors for saving a life, then so be it. At least we will be true to what makes us human. The beast let out another growl, but it was softer now. It sounded less like a threat, more like confusion, maybe even sorrow. Its eyes met the commander's again, the glow in them weak but steady. Something passed between them. Something no words could describe. The soldiers lowered their weapons not because they trusted the beast, but because they trusted their commander. One of them took out a water canister. Fine, we give it water. But if it tries anything, I will shoot. First, the commander nodded. That is fair. The soldier approached slowly, step by step, his hands shaking. The beast's eyes followed him. The air was thick with tension. The soldier crouched near its massive head and placed the canister near its mouth. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the beast moved, its tongue flicked, tasting the water. It drank weakly, slowly, but it drank. The squad froze, watching. The sound of the beast swallowing was heavy in the silence. It was alive, and it wanted to live. The soldier backed away quickly, breathing fast. It drank, sir. It actually drank. The commander's lips tightened, almost into a smile. Good. That means it has not given up yet, and neither will we. The humans stood in silence again, their hearts beating fast. They had crossed the first line. They had made the first choice. It was not full trust yet. It was not safety yet, but it was a step, a dangerous step, but also a human step. The beast closed its eyes for a moment, its chest rising and falling with effort, its mind full of questions it could not form. Why did these creatures help when even its own kind had left it? Why did they not walk away like the others? For the first time in its life, the beast felt something strange inside. It did not have a word for it, but if it had, it would call it hope. The squad looked at their commander, some still afraid, some still doubtful, but deep inside, they all felt it too. This was no longer just about survival. This was about something bigger, something only humans seem to carry, and in that moment, on that broken battlefield, the choice was made. The humans would not abandon the beast no matter the cost, no matter the danger, they would stand by it. And the galaxy would one day remember that choice. The beast lay still, its giant body weak, but its eyes never leaving. The humans. The air was heavy with silence, broken only by the crackle of distant fire. The humans stood in a half circle, their weapons lowered but ready. Their hearts were unsure, caught between fear and strange compassion. The commander moved. First, he walked a little closer, his steps slow and steady. He spoke softly, words the beast could not understand. But the tone was calm. The beast growled in reply, its voice deep, broken, half roar and half cry. It was not language, only sound, but it carried meaning. It carried pain. One soldier whispered, "Sir, it is trying to talk, but it cannot." "It does not understand us," another soldier muttered. "Or maybe it is pretending, waiting for us to get close so it can strike." Their eyes stayed locked on the beast's claws, sharp even in weakness. They knew one swipe could tear through armor. The commander raised his hand, stopping the whispers. He knelt on one knee closer than before. His hand touched the ground, steady, showing he was not a threat. The beast's eyes followed the movement. It blinked slowly, its breath heavy. Its chest rose and fell with a rattling sound. The medic, the youngest of the squad, stepped forward, his face pale but his heart stubborn. He carried a small medical kit. He whispered, "If we are going to save it, we cannot only give water. We must clean its wounds, stop the bleeding, or it will die anyway." The squad turned to him, shocked. One soldier hissed, "Are you mad? If you go near it, you will not come back." The medic swallowed hard but did not stop, his voice shaking but steady enough. "If we want to prove we are different, then we must risk it. If it kills me, then so be it. But at least I tried." His words hung heavy in the smoky air. The commander looked into the medic's eyes, searching for fear, and he saw it there. But he also saw courage. He gave a small nod. "Go, but carefully. We will cover you." The squad raised their weapons. Again, aiming at the beast, ready to fire if anything happened. The medic walked forward, each step heavy. His boots crushed ash and stone. The beast's eyes narrowed, following his every move. The medic opened the kit with trembling hands, pulling out bandages, a vial of antiseptic, a small injector. His breathing was loud in his helmet. The world felt frozen, each second stretched long. He reached the beast's side. The smell was strong, blood and burned flesh mixed with smoke. He gagged but forced himself to continue. The beast gave a low growl, the sound vibrating through the ground. The medic froze, his heart pounded, his hands shook. The beast lifted its claw slowly, the massive shadow falling over the small human. The squad shouted, "Move back!" Their weapons clicked, ready to fire. The commander's voice cut through. "Hold your fire!" His eyes never left the scene. The claw hovered, the air full of danger. The medic could not move, his body frozen between courage and fear. The beast's claw lowered slowly, touching the ground beside him instead of striking. Dust rose. The medic gasped in relief. His heart hammered, but he understood. The beast had chosen not to kill. With shaking hands, he reached for the largest wound. He poured antiseptic over it. The beast flinched, a deep growl of pain shaking the air. The humans raised their weapons again. But the commander shouted, "Hold steady, it is only pain." The medic pressed bandages against the bleeding flesh. His hands worked fast, clumsy but determined. The beast stared at him, confused. Its eyes glowed faintly, not with rage, but with something else. It did not understand why this small creature touched its wounds with care instead of weapons. It did not understand why its life was worth saving. Minutes passed like hours. The medic finished one wound, then another, sweat running down his face. He injected a dose of medicine into the beast's skin. The beast tensed, growled, but did not strike. Its chest rose higher, its breath slightly steadier. It was weak, but it was not dying as fast now. The medic stepped back, breathing hard, his hands stained with alien blood. He looked at the commander. "It will live for now, but it needs food, more treatment, more time." The commander nodded. "Then we will give it that time." Soldiers lowered their weapons slowly, disbelief on their faces. They could not believe the medic had survived. They could not believe the beast had allowed him to touch it. One whispered, "It could have killed him, but it didn't." Another said, maybe it understands." The beast shifted its head, turning its gaze across the humans. Its glowing eyes paused on each face, lingering on the medic. Its mind was foggy, but something stirred inside. It did not know their words, but it knew their actions, and actions were louder than any sound. The commander stood tall, his voice firm. "You see? It is not only a beast, it can choose. It chose not to kill. That means it can choose again, and maybe, just maybe, it can choose to trust." The soldiers were silent, their hearts torn between fear and the strange spark of hope. The beast closed, its eyes slowly, its breath deep. For the first time since the battle ended, it was not only fighting for life, it was allowing another to fight for it. And in that fragile moment, the first bridge was built. It was not strong, not safe, but it was real. The humans had risked everything to touch the untouchable, and the beast had let them. It was the first step, small but powerful. The step that would change everything that followed. The days after the medic's brave act were heavy with silence and waiting. The beast was alive. Its wounds wrapped in rough human bandages, its breath still uneven but stronger than before. The humans made a small camp near the ruins of the battlefield, smoke still rising in the distance like ghosts of the war that had passed. At first, the squad kept their distance. They worked in shifts, one soldier always watching the beast, weapons ready. The others repaired broken gear, checked supplies, and whispered about their strange choice. Some still believed it was madness. Some thought it was mercy. But none of them dared to forget that at any moment the beast could turn. Against them, the commander stayed calm. He visited the beast every day, standing near its head, speaking in a low voice. His words were simple, often the same. "You are safe. We do not leave our wounded. You are not alone." The beast could not understand the language, but it felt the tone. It felt the steady, rhythm of the commander's voice, and something in its chest stirred whenever it heard those words. The medic continued his work. Day after day, he cleaned the wounds, changed the bandages, and gave water mixed with small doses of nutrients. At first the beast growled each time he came close, but slowly, the growls grew softer. They became less like threats and more like sounds of discomfort, like a creature unused to kindness. One evening, the medic brought a piece of dried rations. He placed it carefully near the beast's mouth. For a long time, the beast did nothing. Its glowing eyes watched him closely. The humans waited, tense. Then the beast opened its jaws and took the food, chewing slowly. Its throat worked as it swallowed. The sound was strange but powerful to the humans. They looked at one another in silence, realizing what had just happened. The youngest soldier whispered, "It ate our food. That means it accepted it." Another said, "Or it just wants strength to kill us later." But even as they spoke, their eyes showed something else, a small spark of hope. As the days passed, the beast began to move a little. It lifted its head, stretched its claws, its body still weak, but not broken. It no longer growled when the humans came close. Instead, it watched them with curious eyes, studying their small hands, their tools, their strange way of always working together. One night, while the others slept, the commander sat near the beast, staring into the dark sky filled with clouds of ash. He spoke softly, not to his squad but to the creature. "Your people left you. They called you weak, but I do not believe weakness makes someone worthless. Sometimes weakness shows who is truly strong, because to keep living after being abandoned, that takes strength no one sees." His words were carried by the cold wind. The beast's ear twitched, and though it did not understand, something deep inside it shifted. The bond was growing, not with sudden trust, but with small steps. A drink of water, a piece of food, the touch of bandages, the sound of voices that did not carry hate. The beast began to respond in its own way. When the humans came close, it no longer bared its teeth. When the medic cleaned its wounds, it no longer raised its claw. Instead, its body grew calm, its eyes softer. One day, the medic stumbled on a rock and dropped his bag of supplies. The beast's glowing eyes followed the scattered tools. Then, slowly, with effort, it lifted one massive claw and nudged a bandage back toward him. The medic froze, staring in shock. His hands trembled as he picked it up. He whispered, It helped me." The others did not believe him at first, but when they saw the marks in the dust where the claw had moved, their doubt grew thin. The humans began to speak to it more. They gave it simple names: giant, survivor, friend. The beast tilted its head whenever they called, its mind slowly learning that these sounds were connected to it. The connection was still fragile, but it was real. One evening, the squad sat around a small fire, their voices low, sharing stories of Earth, of oceans, mountains, and skies full of stars. They laughed softly, their eyes bright with memory. The beast lay nearby, listening. The sounds were strange, but the laughter was not. Laughter was a universal sound, not of hate or fear, but of life. The beast rumbled in its chest, a sound that almost matched theirs, not laughter, but something close. The squad froze, then slowly smiled. The bond was no longer only survival, it was something deeper. The commander spoke again, his voice strong. "You were left behind, but we will not leave you. Others see only monsters, but we see more. We fight not only with weapons, but with heart. That is what makes us human." The beast looked at him for a long time, its eyes glowing in the firelight. Something warm flickered inside it, a memory. It did not know it had, a feeling it did not have a name for. If it had, the word would be trust. The bond was still fragile, the danger still real. But in those broken days on the battlefield, something powerful was born. The humans and the beast were no longer strangers. They were beginning to become something else, something the galaxy would not understand until it was too late. The days of quiet recovery did not last. The humans thought they were hidden in the ruins, but rumors spread faster than smoke. In the nearby sectors, alien patrols spoke of strange whispers. They said the humans had done something foolish, something dangerous. They said the humans were protecting the beast. At first the squad did not know. They continued to feed the creature, to clean its wounds, to talk to it as if it were part of them. The beast was learning slowly. It watched their faces when they spoke. It copied small sounds. It moved its claws carefully so it would not scare them. It was no longer only surviving, it was beginning to live again, but danger was moving closer. One evening, while the sky burned red with the setting sun, a scout returned to camp, his face pale, his voice sharp. "Commander, we are not alone. Enemy patrols are circling. They know something. They are searching." The squad tensed, weapons ready. The commander's jaw tightened. He knew what it meant. The other races had not forgotten the beast. They had left it to die because it was too dangerous, too unpredictable. To them, the humans saving it was not mercy. It was betrayal, and betrayal demanded punishment. That night, the humans sat together, the fire small and weak. Their voices were low, filled with fear and questions. "If they come and see us here, they will kill us all," one soldier said. Another added, "They will not only kill us, they will kill the beast too, and this time they will not leave it half dead. They will make sure it never rises again." The commander listened, silent for a long time. His eyes moved from his squad to the massive shadow of the beast resting nearby. The creature's eyes glowed faintly, watching them. It did not understand their words, but it felt the tension, the fear. Finally, the commander spoke, his voice steady. "We knew this would come. From the moment we gave it water. From the moment we touched its wounds, we knew the galaxy would call us fools, but I ask you this. Do we abandon it now after everything? Do we prove them right? Or do we stand by it and show them what it means to be human?" The squad shifted uneasily. Some nodded, some shook their heads. One soldier argued, "Commander, this is not bravery, this is suicide. We are few, they are many. We cannot stand against all of them." Another said, "And what if the beast does not fight with us? What if it chooses to run, or worse, what if it turns against us in the middle of battle?" Their words were sharp, filled with fear. But then the medic, the youngest of them all, spoke. His voice, soft but firm. "I treated it. I saw its eyes. It chose not to kill me when it could have. It drank our water, it ate our food. It stayed when it could have left. I believe it will not run. I believe it will stand with us." The camp grew silent. All eyes turned toward the beast. It raised its head slowly, its glowing eyes sweeping over them. For a long moment, no one moved. Then, with a deep rumble from its chest, the beast dragged its claw across the dirt. The shape was not perfect, but it was clear. It was copying the human symbol for together. The squad stared, stunned, their fear bent under the weight of that single act. The commander nodded firmly. "It has chosen, and so must we." The decision was made. The humans would not abandon it. If the enemy came, they would fight, not alone, but side by side with the creature they had saved. The next day, the signs of danger grew stronger. Strange sounds echoed in the ruins. Shadows moved in the smoke. The humans prepared their weapons, setting traps, creating cover. Their hands moved fast, their hearts heavy. The beast limped to its feet, still weak but stronger than before. It stood beside them, its massive frame a wall of muscle and claw. One soldier muttered under his breath, "We look insane fighting with a monster." Another replied quietly, "Maybe, but sometimes insanity is what changes everything." That night, the commander looked at his squad. His voice was quiet, but powerful. "The galaxy thinks we are weak, that we are small. But they forget one thing. We do not give up. We do not leave anyone behind. And tomorrow, when they come for us, they will learn what that means." The beast gave a deep growl, not of pain this time, but of strength. Its eyes glowed brighter in the dark. The humans looked at it, and for the first time they did not see a monster. They saw an ally. The stage was set. The threat was coming. The humans and the beast would face it together, and in the ruins of a broken battlefield, a bond stronger than fear was about to be tested. The night before the attack was heavy. The air was cold, the ruins silent. but every human in the squad could feel danger moving closer. They cleaned their weapons, checked their ammo, and whispered plans. Their eyes kept going back to the beast, which now stood on its feet, taller than the broken walls. Its wounds were not fully healed, but its strength had returned. Its glowing eyes burned brighter. The commander walked between his soldiers, his voice calm but strong. Tomorrow they will come. They will try to destroy us. They will try to finish the beast, but we will not run. We will hold this ground and we will fight. His words gave courage, but the fear did not leave their hearts. The beast gave a low rumble, shaking the ground. It lifted its claw and struck the dirt, making a mark. The humans looked at each other. They understood. The beast was saying it would fight with them. It was no longer just a wounded creature they had saved. It was now their ally. When the sun rose, the sky was red. Enemy ships appeared in the distance, dark shadows cutting across the light. The sound of engines filled the air. The ground shook. As alien troops landed, hundreds of them, armored and armed, they marched through the smoke, their voices loud, calling the humans traitors, fools, protectors of a monster. The humans stood ready behind broken walls and rubble, weapons aimed. The beast stood in front of them, massive, its body glowing faintly with energy. Its breath came out in clouds of steam. Each side waited for the first strike. The aliens shouted, "Hand over the beast and we will let you live." The commander shouted back, "We do not abandon our own." His words echoed, and the battle began. Blaster fire cut through the air. Explosions shook the ruins. The humans fired back, their bullets and beams striking enemy armor. The beast roared, a sound so powerful that even the sky seemed to tremble. It charged forward, claws tearing through the enemy ranks. Its massive tail slammed into soldiers, sending them flying. The humans moved with precision, covering the beast as it fought. When enemies tried to surround it, the squad opened fire, cutting them down. When enemies rushed the humans, the beast swept them aside. It was not only strength, it was teamwork, a strange bond that made them fight as one. But the enemy was many. Wave after wave kept coming. Their firepower was heavy. The ground cracked under the blasts. The walls shattered. The humans were forced back step by step. A soldier shouted, "We cannot hold them. There are too many." The commander answered, "Then we fight harder. Hold the line." The beast roared again, wounds reopening as it fought, but it did not stop. Its claws ripped through enemy machines, its teeth crushed armor. Yet even with its strength, it was being pushed. Blood dripped onto the ground. The humans saw it, fear in their eyes, but none of them ran. The medic rushed forward, firing his weapon and shouting, "Don't fall, stay with us." The beast looked at him, and something inside it burned brighter. It struck harder, faster, fighting not for itself but for the humans who refused to leave it. The sky was filled with smoke and fire. The noise was deafening. The humans shouted orders, their voices mixing with the beast's roars. Explosions painted the battlefield in flashes of light. At one moment, the enemy broke through the line, rushing toward the humans. A soldier stumbled, falling. An alien raised its blade to strike, but the beast moved faster, its claw slamming down, saving the soldier. Dust exploded as the enemy was crushed. The soldier looked up in shock, his voice shaking. "It saved me." Hope rose again in the squad. Their fear turned to fire. They shouted louder, fighting harder. The humans and the beast stood shoulder to shoulder. The enemy commander saw this, fury in his eyes. He shouted, "Kill them all. Burn this place to ash." Heavy weapons were brought forward, cannons aimed. Missiles launched. The sky burned as fire rained down. The beast roared louder than ever. Its body glowed with strange light, energy pulsing from within. It leapt in front of the humans, taking the blasts head on. The ground shook as fire exploded around it. Smoke covered everything. The humans cried out, "No." But when the smoke cleared, the beast still stood, burned and bleeding, but alive. Its roar echoed across the battlefield, shaking the hearts of friend and foe alike. With one massive strike, it crushed the cannons, tearing through the heavy weapons. The humans charged forward behind it, their voices rose in a single cry. For humanity, their fire tore into the enemy, pushing them back. The beast ripped through their machines, crushing their lines. Together they turned the tide. The enemy began to retreat. their shouts full of anger and fear. They had come to destroy, but they had found something stronger than strength alone. They had found unity. As the last enemy ships fled into the sky, the battlefield fell silent. Smoke drifted, the ground broken. The humans stood, their armor scorched, their bodies tired. The beast stood beside them, swaying with exhaustion but still alive. Its glowing eyes looked at the small squad, and for the first time in its life, it lowered its head. The humans looked at each other, breathless, speechless. They had fought against impossible odds. They had survived not alone but with the very creature others had abandoned. The bond was sealed in fire and blood, and as the silence settled, one truth was clear. The galaxy would never forget this battle. The day when humans and a beast fought as one. The battlefield was quiet at last. The smoke drifted in slow clouds. Broken ships and shattered machines lay scattered across the ruins. The ground was dark. With ash and blood, the humans stood together, breathing hard. Their armor burned and cracked, their faces tired but alive. Beside them the beast stood tall, swaying on its feet, its massive chest rising and falling with heavy breaths. Its wounds were deep, its body broken in places, but it had not fallen. For a long moment no one spoke. The silence felt heavy, as if the galaxy itself was watching. The humans looked at the beast and the beast looked at them. Their eyes met, and something unspoken passed between them. Not words, not even gestures, but a bond that was carved into their very souls. The medic stepped forward first, his hands were shaking, his uniform stained with blood. He looked up at the beast and whispered, "You fought for us." The beast rumbled in reply, a deep sound that shook the air. But this time it was not a roar of anger or pain. It was softer, like thunder far away. The humans felt it in their hearts. The commander stood tall, his voice steady, though his body was tired. "We stood together, and we won. The galaxy will never believe this. They will never understand. But we know. We saw it with our own eyes. A beast abandoned by its own kind, and humans who refused to walk away." The squad listened, their hearts heavy with pride and fear. They knew the war was not over. They knew the enemy would return one day stronger with more weapons, but they also knew something had changed, something no enemy could erase. The beast lowered its massive head, its glowing eyes softened as it looked at the small humans. It bent lower, close enough that the commander could have touched its face if he wanted. The gesture was clear. It was not only respect, it was loyalty. It was a promise. One soldier whispered almost in awe, "It bows to us." Another said quietly, "Not to us, to what we did, to who we are." The fire crackled in the ruins, and the humans felt a strange warmth in their hearts. They had not only saved the beast, they had created something new, something larger than themselves. The medic stepped closer, his voice gentle. "We gave you water. We gave you food. We gave you trust. But you gave us something greater. You showed us that even the most feared creature can choose another path. You showed us that trust can grow in the darkest places." The beast rumbled again as if agreeing. The commander looked at his squad, his voice carrying the weight of their victory. "Others will call us mad. They will call us traitors. They will say we were wrong. But history is not written by those who walk away. History is written by those who stay. And we stayed." The squad raised their heads, pride filling their tired faces. They had fought not only for survival, but for something greater, something invisible but powerful. The bond between species. The choice to see life where others saw only death. The beast lifted its head again and let out a roar, not of rage, but of triumph. The sound rolled across the ruins. Echoing into the distance, the humans stood firm, letting the sound wash over them. Their hearts beat faster. They knew this roar was not only a cry of victory, it was a cry of belonging. From that day forward, the beast never left the humans. It walked with them, fought with them, rested beside their fires. It was no longer the abandoned monster, no longer the cursed weapon of its kind. It was part of something new, A family built not by blood, but by choice. The galaxy soon heard whispers of what had happened. Stories spread from soldier to soldier, from ship to ship. They spoke of a day when humans stood against the galaxy to protect a beast. They spoke of a bond no one believed possible. Some mocked the story, calling it lies. Others feared it, wondering what else humans were capable of. But a few listened, and in their hearts they felt respect. The humans did not care about the whispers. They knew the truth. They had seen it, felt it, lived it. The beast was their ally now, and together they would face whatever came. The commander wrote the final words in his log that night, his hand trembling with exhaustion. Strength is not only in claws or in fire or in armies. True strength is in compassion, in loyalty, in refusing to abandon. We humans are small compared to the galaxy, but we are never small when we stand together, and today we proved it. The beast lay near them, its body curled, its glowing eyes closing as it rested. The humans sat beside it, their weapons near but their fear gone. The stars returned to the sky above, shining through the last trails of smoke, and in that quiet moment, the galaxy itself seemed to pause, because something had changed forever. A monster had found a family, and humans had proven to the stars that they would never leave anyone behind.